Thanks a lot. Matthew Lee, Inner City Press, on behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access. Thanks for always doing these briefings and for not artificially limiting to one topic. That's appreciated. I'm going to actually be on Nepal. I wanted to ask you, a member of the UN family, I guess, the International Monetary Fund, they did go to the donors conference, but they've said that Nepal, for some reason, despite the earthquake there, is not eligible for what they have something called the Catastrophe, Containment, and Relief Fund, which is supposed to be for just such instances. And they said it's because the percentage of harm based on GDP, by some calculation, it somehow wasn't eligible for this. So I wanted to know, does OCHA have any input into that? It seems like, looking at it from afar, it seems like if this didn't count, like, what would count? Do you think that it should count? And I saw you quoted dismissing local media accounts about substandard food, and I just wanted to ask what you think. I also saw what it seemed like it wasn't just local media. There was some government statement about some food should be destroyed if it's not used. Where does that stand, and what do you think was behind the apparently false allegations that the WFP food was somehow substandard?
So on the IMF, we don't have, OCHA doesn't have input into those calculuses and calculations. But you're right, we need to contribute to a debate and a discussion along the lines that you have highlighted. We also have similar issues in the Middle East, which have been highlighted by the High Commissioner for Refugees in terms of relief, World Bank classification of countries and what they're entitled to in terms of the support that they get when a situation suddenly changes. So again, a valid issue, a valid point, but we don't, as OCHA, have a formal mechanism of engagement with the IMF on that. On there has been certain press reporting in, or certain elements of the press corps reporting in Nepal, critical of food, substandard food being distributed, but all the information, the evidence that is there is that the substandard food was in the warehouse for return as opposed to being distributed, and I just when it was raised to me, I felt that again, that issue had been addressed many times, but the same source of that story continued to be recycled, and it's just distracting. Now again, what to say further than that? That is what it is. I mean, the evidence was presented very clearly that there was no distribution of substandard food, and certainly when I was out myself in the different locations, I had nothing but positive feedback about the support the quality of the supplies that were being issued. So, I mean, nothing more to say on that.
And the government, the government is now clear. You've clarified it for the government, because I saw some, not just local media, but the government saying things about it. They're now
no, the government, the government obviously, as you would expect, when there's a report of something negative, the government have to respond that they will look into that. In my engagement with government officials, they to me were clear that they were satisfied with what they were being, the evidence that they were being presented with, which, as I say, had superseded what was being presented in the media.